Welcome to a different perspective where civil commentary is priority. Today is December 15th, 2022, and how is everybody doing today? You know what? I haven't been able to make content just for the fact that I had a lot of stuff going on. Thanksgiving, hanging up the Christmas decorations and all that good stuff. And just dealing with the accident that I was in, the car accident. And the good news is I'm always in the lucky end of the stick. It wasn't my fault. I got compensated and I got a new vehicle. And getting surgery, getting my gallbladder taken out. So yeah, I've had quite a few things to do along with Christmas shopping. And I say all that because that's a lot that's happened. And, we're financially stable enough to endure problems like that. And the reason I make online content is to utilize my small platform to push issues that should matter to us, because I understand a lot of people don't have those perks, those privileges like I have, like benefits and all that. So I recognize my privilege and I want people to stay focused, because politics are everything. Healthcare, our infrastructure, your ability to afford unforeseen costs. So yeah, we got to talk about issues that really matter. So today's topic of discussion, we're going to go ahead and get ready to discuss that right now. So bear with me. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and talk about today's topic of discussion, which Twitter drops, cancel culture, and hot takes about centrists. So let's get started with the Twitter drops. Matt Taibbi's work seems to point out the obvious biases from the tech sector. They're not big fans of right-leaning online content creators. How do I feel about this? I'm indifferent, but I don't like the idea of people getting shadow banned. That Dan Bongino and Charlie Kirk were those folks that got. So let me go ahead and show you who these people are. Yeah. So you got Bari Weiss that was talking about like those two prominent right-wing content creators getting shadow banned, search blacklists. I don't know all these titles, but I know Charlie Kirk does get a lot of views when he actually engages with people that disagree with him. He's been on some, I gotta give him some respect where respect's due. He's talked to Vosh, he's talked to so many people that don't see things his way. And that's how I hear about Charlie Kirk. And it's really interesting to see those conversations, but he doesn't do it as much as he should, I think. And he ends up agreeing with people on the left. But Dan Bongino, I mean, that guy's just kind of cringe. I've never really seen anything that's made me think, oh yeah, I feel bad for him. Nah, I really don't. I mean, perhaps if he debated more people, he should be more known. But I think Charlie Kirk with Turning Points USA, I always see those advertisements all over YouTube, and I would assume that they would follow people that are interested in right-wing content. Like I recently got a lot of conservative paid advertisement all over YouTube, and I'm not conservative, but I do watch a little bit of everything. But I just really personally, I don't see a lot of shadow banning, because I see a lot of Fox News and they're number one. But I guess when it comes to Twitter, they were not getting their fair share of attention. But is Elon truly the savior of free speech? Elon just recently banned and threatened a lawsuit against Flight Track account after pledging that he wouldn't. Flight tracking is in the bounds of free speech. So Twitter terms of agreement were changed to cancel it. You can see Elon making tweets about like, go ahead and criticize me. But this account didn't exclusively seek out Elon. It also included Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. And I do sympathize with Elon. Sure, protecting yourself and family is not a bad thing. But these are obstacles that all of us face via free speech. The question that we need to ask ourselves, when are regulations needed? Remember, we are all under the same risk, but only Elon has the privilege to cancel others. Where's the line going to be drawn? Adjusting terms of agreement due to personal gain isn't a privilege that we share with Elon. So how many rights and restrictions have been lost due to protectionism, like the Defense Act, 2012, the Patriot Act? It just, it's really hard to just rely on one person to make that call. And he's making it seem like he's getting tracked. I think on his last tweet, he didn't really go into detail, but it's just his flights. And that's First Amendment right there. It's protected, free speech. But he's a billionaire. He got the ability to put top-notch security. I mean, I don't think he really has to worry about anyone. He just doesn't want anyone to know where he's at as far as his flight is concerned. And I can get, he tracks us. If you buy a Tesla, you're getting tracked by Elon. So the hypocrisy there is crazy. But yeah, so I don't know. I used to like Elon Musk a lot. So I guess my bitterness is a little bit more out there because I just see so many things that trigger me as far as like being a hypocrite, and he's wanting to be that free speech advocate, but yeah, he has a vehicle that will track you do everything. So okay, let's go ahead and go to our next point of discussion, because this also lends itself to getting that shadow banned and all that good stuff as far as like Twitter drops. So the cancel culture, not exactly a big priority in my politics. A lot of momentum for being canceled has been made via the pandemic, because people are just putting out stuff out there that could be questionable. And advertisers not wanting to invest in certain platforms with anti-vax ideologies. My prescription to counter cancellation is to have debates, a structure critical discourse that is solution-based rather than righteous platitudes. One cringe part of cancel culture was hearing from super wealthy comedians complaining about getting canceled upon making $100 million from a Spotify deal, and another comedian who made $10 million from a Netflix deal. Since when did becoming a victim from the woke cancellation mob become so profitable? Just like, I don't know. And recently, Elon tried to call Dave Chappelle's fans woke. Because they're trying to cancel him by booing him. But Dave Chappelle fans, woke? Really? No, I don't think so. My personal belief about folks that overplay the cancel card is that they're trying to conceal their inner snowflake persona that can't handle criticism. My advice, confront the source of criticism head on. Don't hide behind memes, don't use the ambiguity of the internet, and don't seek affirmation by constantly speaking to the choir. I see this a lot when I debate people or I try to converse with them on Twitter, which it's really frustrating because you get a lot of people ganging up on you, and Twitter doesn't have an edit option, so I just get lost sometimes, and it's really hard to focus when you have so many people with a lot of opinions attacking you at once. So instead of just tweeting, have dialogue, talk to somebody. We have the technology with your phones and all that, so I'm normalizing that, or at least making an effort to do that as we speak. So yeah, that's pretty much my take with cancel culture. I just think it's a way to avoid criticism and just you're complaining, and I just don't like that, complaining. So that's what cancel culture is to me. And I'm pretty sure there's some legit examples out there. So if there is, let me know and we can discuss that. All right, now the hot takes with centrists. People that call themselves centrists tend to nod their head in agreement with a lot of the political solutions that are left-leaning, but yet here we are. I used to be a centrist, and I remember one time that I made a huge post on Facebook explaining we can find the good in the left, we can find the good in the right, we can find the good in the libertarians, socialists and all that, and we just need to make sure we come up with some good answers. Which, when I reread that and when I look back on that long post, it's just talking about me and no solutions. It was very self-absorbed, just trying to make sense of my politics. And now I'm just pretty much solution-based, and I'm pretty goal-oriented, and it just makes it seems a lot easier to understand things. It's just you have to rely on the government to make things more feasible for a whole country. You can look at the past of what worked before, and you can also look at other countries of where they're successful. So all of that is entailed with the government, and also regulating all those crony capitalists that are just, polluting our government for their interests. So here's a list of obstacles that I've encountered with centrists. Number one, not agreeing on which course to take to tackling systemic issues. I personally know many centrists that recognize the necessity to address poverty, infrastructure, the economy, and social safety nets, but their ideology of wanting to include a side that doesn't even bring up these issues is beyond me. Currently, you have Republicans that won the House seats. And what are they talking about? Are they talking about any of those important issues that we need to address? They're just going after Hunter Biden, which, if Hunter Biden's guilty, Lady Justice is blind. So by all means, he should suffer the consequence. But nepotism is an issue with the Trumps too, with the Clintons, with the Bushes. So it's just, it's one of those elitist soap operas that I'm really not interested in. Let's talk about the things that affect us. And I mean, do Republicans even focus on these issues as far as like infrastructure still and the economy? I really don't see many of them talking about that. I'll save that question for my centrist friends. Do they? Do they talk about that lately? No. Number 2, centrists respond to buttery language and platitudes. In my opinion, the lack of civility turns off centrists. But yet, I know many who voted for Trump. It's just crazy. It's like, yeah, that's just not unifying language. Well, then why did you vote for Trump twice or once? So, yeah, that's just a question I have for centrists as well. Like most Americans, they focus on national politics. Not many that I personally spoke with know much about their local leadership or state level leadership. And I think, if anything, they are starting to engage more. So those are the 3 obstacles that I've personally had, discussing politics with centrists. So now some promising attributes of my centrist friends. Number 1, they like watching debates, and they're starting to engage a lot more. And I always think that's a good thing. That's why I'm an advocate for the First Amendment. So that goes to my number 2. They respond to good arguments. So if you utilize your speech to make good arguments and you develop a rhetoric, you're going to get the ear of a centrist. So it's up to people that want to push an argument to make it good. Number 3, they are solution-based rather than being driven by a hard ideology. I mean, their ideology is to include both sides and get the best ideas. But, since they are solution-based, if you just ask them what solutions are being offered right now by Republicans, Herschel Walker, what was his solutions to solve our economy? What was he trying to push to talk about infrastructure? Poverty. Yeah, he doesn't. Number 4, they respond to facts and data. So that's good. And number 5, they're the best demographic to recruit from. That's my personal take with centrists. So, you know what? I always like to say something positive as far as like centrists go. But I do have some videos that are kind of animated, not by me, but I want to go ahead and watch this with you and discuss it later. Because like I had mentioned, when I was a centrist, it was really hard for me to articulate my beliefs. And I was full of word salads and I was very confused. But now, if I have a talk with somebody about my politics, I can discuss policy and strategy. And so let's go ahead and check out some of the videos that I have, the video that I have. So let's go ahead and check that out. Oops, let's get that out of there. So, oh yeah, by the way, this is my YouTube channel, and as you can see, I like talking to people, interviewing people I meet on Twitter, and just having some good discussions. But this is going to be about centrists, so let's just go ahead and get that music off. Oh yeah, Destiny and Lex Friedman. By the way, if you don't know who Lex Friedman is, he's an MIT graduate, super intelligent, and I love how he's using his platform to have good conversations. And he does talk to people and hold them accountable, which I really like that. And Destiny, he's a college dropout, but very intelligent. Don't let that title fool you, because just because you don't have a college degree, that doesn't mean that you don't belong. There's so many ways to make yourself marketable, and that's one of the things I'm for, creating more opportunities. College is not always the route for most people, so let's create other opportunities to elevate people in this country. So let's go ahead and check this out. This is a really good conversation. You could see how Lex, he has an issue of trying to articulate why he's a centrist. And also at the end, he kind of does concede. And disclaimer, there is some big boy language in here. So hopefully we don't get any ads. I do not want any ads. Please, no ads. I think there's going to be some ads.
It's just hard. Okay, so to generalize, it's hard to be in the center. It feels like
For sure.
to center and then like do like a random walk among the policies around that. I don't know what that mechanism is. I mean, it makes people like me not feel good being in the center. It seems like people are just not nice to people in the center. Like the public, the Twitter machine is not nice to people who are open-minded in the center. Is there some truth to that?
2 reasons for that. One is because I think a lot of people that market themselves as center are legitimately spineless cowards and deserve to be called out. Like
I've never killed a man, but today might be my first.
Oh no.
I'll take over. Like I told you, I'll take over your stream
with the AI. Yeah, we'll see.
With the AI,
is that guy going to be streaming in the background?
Hey fellas.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Lots of gotchas.
Right.
Lots of gotchas. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
And decrease the amount, which already is a pretty low level of emotion. Just decrease it completely. When people are screaming at you and accusing stuff, just remain calm.
Absolutely.
Emotionless.
The gaslighter strategy.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're talking about. So I don't.
I don't ever identify as center anything because it's got such a bad reputation. Because
fuck that. I stand center with a spine. It's called being open-minded. And it's not center, left, and right. Those are just labels.
Here's a really good quote my mom said to me when I was really young. She said, Stevie, don't ever let your mind be so open that your brain falls out. And that's what I find that a lot of center people do.
That's not what she told me last night.
Why are you like this?
I'm sorry, man.
Okay, I'm glad I can bring that. I'm glad you feel like this is a safe space. Like I said, people are non-judgmental. If you want to talk about fucking my mom, you know what? You're totally within your rights.
I didn't say that.
Okay?
You said that.
That's totally
I didn't say that.
I support that. She's a beautiful woman. Her husband probably wouldn't be too happy about it, but you know.
I didn't say there was any sexual relations. It was just that having a conversation with her. You projected that. That says.
So we'll go ahead and stop right there with the gaslighting strategy. I mean, that's just pretty much how Destiny was able to articulate, yeah, you don't want to go ahead and put out who you really are, what you're really feeling. You're trying to deceive people because you're being fake. And you could just see Lex was just like, you know, talking about his mom. And it was a good conversation. It just reminds you talking to your buddy and having a good dialogue. And to really have that critical thinking, because he does concede to the fact, he's like, yeah, I guess, you know, it's really hard to take a stand if you're trying to find good on both sides, which it sounds nice. But when you have to make an executive decision, do we need to make sure we become more aggressive on infrastructure? Perhaps you should look at the party that's actually making policies for handling our infrastructure, because there is one side that is really not even entertaining that as of right now. So to push the momentum, there shouldn't be a centrist take when it comes to that particular issue. And the same thing as far as addressing poverty. I mean, you could just reference the poorest areas in this country. They happen to be red regions, and areas that have, you know, more opportunities are going to be blue regions. So it's just one of those things where I'm like, why should we have a compromise when one side's not even trying to push the needle toward progress when it comes to infrastructure or handling poverty? You should just go ahead and do support the party that's just trying to do something about it. And are there things that we could do to accelerate progress instead of just relying on two parties? Yes, but that's some intel for another video. But yeah, I just thought that was a really good combo. So go ahead and check out Lex Friedman's full interview with Destiny, and you'll find it pretty entertaining. It was a very long interview. It was like 3 hours because they were gelling, man. It was a really good, feel-good conversation, which I would like to have with regular people. So that's pretty much it. You know, we talked about the Twitter drops, just my personal takes. I think they're distractions. Like Tim Pool was even saying, you know, just dropping it like how it is, just do it all at once. It just seems like you're trying to kill the story or something. And also, we just discussed, you know, the cancel culture. It just seems like people are just wanting to find a way to get away from criticism. And last but not least, my, you know, hot takes with Centrist. So, you know, we can't just give people a way to just be like, hey, all these woke people want to cancel me because it just makes it seem like someone's exercising their privilege. And I don't think I have a privilege of escaping criticism. I make myself vulnerable. I put myself out there. I use my free speech to have conversations. And hopefully when we do discuss, we're solution-based and respectful. And I don't feel privileged when it comes to talking to people. So hopefully you don't feel like you need to cancel somebody just because.
All right, boys.
So you get my point. So that's pretty much all for today. And like always, have a good one.